I spent 16 days in Nigeria in March 2018 giving out wheelchairs with my partner Yuba Gufwan. This was my 26th trip to Nigeria. Our first presentation was at the Plateau State Vocational Center, a small vocational training school for the disabled, with pitifully few resources and very little actual useful training going on. We gave out 6 wheelchairs here. Back at the wheelchair shop, a truck is being loaded with 60 wheelchairs for the 3-hour trip to the city of Lafia, capital of Nasarawa State. Because our wheelchairs are big and bulky, they are loaded with the wheels off to get more into the truck. Usually they are taken a day or two in advance of the presentation, and 2 of our workers go along in the truck to assemble the wheels when they get to the venue. A member of the Federal House of Representatives, similar to our member of Congress, had organized this presentation at a large hotel in the center of the city. He had also publicized on the radio that he was giving out 5,000 naira, about $14, to widows. Thousands of widows showed up. There were several hundred disabled as well, so obviously not everyone got one of our 60 wheelchairs. It was chaos. Some of those who didn't get a wheelchair. Our next presentation was in the town of Ningji, Borji, in Bauchi State. We gave out 60 wheelchairs here.
Present 60 wheelchairs to handicapped people in the Ningji Warji Federal Constituency of Bauchi State in conjunction with the
And the good news is that huge efforts are being made around the world to eradicate polio.
Yace abin da zai baka farin ciki shine duka duniya an haɗu ana haɗa ƙarfi da ƙarfe da su.
The bad news is nothing is being done for the survivors.
Yace amma abin da zai baka mamaki da takaici shine ba za ka samu irin wannan.
Our organization, Beautiful Gate Handicapped People Center, is one of the only organizations doing something providing mobility for polio survivors.
Yace kungiyarsa ita ce ɗaya daga cikin kungiya da ta shahara.
Last year, up until the end of the year, we had given more than 16,000 of these wheelchairs in 28 of Nigeria's 36 states. 16,000.
Ali Glass. Madiziba Kabiru. Shaibu Abubakar Farkwano. Yusuf Malam Sunusi Nasarbi.
This boy was not on the list and waited longingly for a wheelchair. This absolutely breaks my heart, but it happens almost every wheelchair presentation. The need is so great we are just scratching the surface. This forlorn little boy and the girl in the cart who also didn't get a wheelchair are some of the main reasons I've devoted my retirement to this project. This is the palatial mansion of Sule Lamido, the former governor of Jigawa State and very possibly the next president of Nigeria. Several years ago, Ayuba and I did a large wheelchair presentation outside his office that received widespread television and newspaper coverage. Ayuba gave him an award as the most handicap-friendly governor in Nigeria because he gave a monthly stipend to several thousand disabled in his state, unheard of in that country. We sat in his waiting room with many of his friends and supporters for a couple of hours, and when he came in, he remembered me very well, and Ayuba, and we talked about how our two religions challenge us to care for the needy. If Sule Lamido becomes the president of Nigeria in May 2019, Ayuba and I may have an entree to get the government more involved in caring for the disabled. With my camera, so I can tell my people at home that I have met the future president of Nigeria.
Okay. Yeah.
Good. An unusual sight on our way to the next presentation in the far north of Jigawa State, near the border of the Niger Republic. A large herd of camels brought down from the desert in the north by the Fulanis, looking for water and grazing for their animals at the end of the dry season. This presentation was at the palace of the Emir of Hadija. It is proper protocol for a chief to wear his turban and chief's robe when visiting an emir's palace. I always try to greet and shake hands with every disabled person who comes for a wheelchair, and try to give these people, who are the lowest of the low, some honor and dignity and recognition. I'm sure none of them had ever shaken hands with a chief before, let alone a white chief from America.
Mai girma ya Galadima Hadeja ya fito wannan rumfa tare da shi da ainihin 'yan majalisar mai martaba sarki. Kuma tuni daraktan wannan cibiya da muke tallafawa a nan wurare da take da cibiya a garin Jos ko take da matsuguni a garin don su tura da ke kasar Amerika wanda kuna da garin ɗaya daga cikin su wakilansu wanda ya sauka a wannan ƙasa satin da ya wuce don yadda cewa suna yi ko ba sa yi. Su fito da wuri. Ina Shamsu? Shi da Shamsu? Ina Balaraba? Sai kuma daga gundumar waje akwai Nasiru Sani. Nasiru, ina Nasiru ga wancan. Nasiru. Sai Sadiya yi su jigo, to sai ɗahar Abdullahi Kampala da kuma Maram Datti Ceya daga gundumar Malamadori. Kuma su an ce su mere da su za su taimaki za su Allah ne a sanar su kuma. Ai hakuri da Allah akwai dan observation da muka yi. Abin da za a yi shine su masu girma hakimai suna nan aka ba su. Wata ba su ga mutum ba da yawa wanda an gan shi wata za a yi tunanin. Allah wanda suka rako su Allah suna tallafa ne. Sai kuma hajjara da gundumar kwatano. Sai kuma duma da mai kyauri. Daga gundumar duma da mai kyauri. A da yin ma'azu da Hadiza Abdullahi. Da Allah wakilai suna taimaka musu. A taimaka mata da Allah a hankali.
Kiyo nan ga nan. Kai. Awata. Wanda ke aka yi saboda yana kwabarin sai.
Na wakilinta.
Na wakilansu. Kirka sama. Sai kuma
A Yuba snake charmer friend stopped by the shop with 2 6-foot cobras. Notice when he hits the snake how its hood flares out, a true hooded cobra. Here's a visit to the wheelchair shop. We make our own mud guards, which are stronger than the flimsy bike fenders you can buy. Sitting and pounding all day is a job our polio survivors can do. We have to assemble our own spokes and wheels. Our next presentation was at a large college of education in Azari, a city in the far north of Bauchi State. We gave out 30 wheelchairs and 5 manual typewriters, which I brought from the U.S., for blind students to write their exams. It was very hot here, as well as the 3 other presentations in the far north semi-desert area. We gave out 60 wheelchairs in Durazo, Bauchi State. This presentation was very interesting. A big-time politician who had arranged this presentation came from the state capitol an hour's drive away with a van load of reporters and TV crews. I noticed someone was putting big stickers on the backs of the wheelchairs. When I looked, there was his picture and the picture of the governor and his political party taking credit for giving away these wheelchairs. I told him if he wanted to give me 3 million naira, $9,000, the cost of the 60 wheelchairs, we could leave the stickers on. Otherwise, I was ripping them off, which I did. It didn't take him very long to gather up his van load of press people and head back to the Capitol. Our last presentation was at a meeting of university student associations in Bukaru, near Jos. First thing on the program was a song and dance contest between different groups. We gave out 20 wheelchairs here to disabled folks who had been rounded up by the university students.